Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine, and today I'm going to show you a workout that you can do at your countertop. So we talk about a lot in my videos about use a stable surface to do an exercise, or grab onto a countertop, and I wanted to just show you using a countertop. So I'm at my gym today, and this is my kitchen in my gym. So I'm going to show you a full set of exercises that you can do at your counter. You can do them in your bathroom or your kitchen. Typically you have a little bit more room in your kitchen, but what I like about the kitchen is that you have this sink. So you've got kind of an area to hold on. It's sturdy, it's stable, and it's usually at about the right height, hip height or a little higher depending on your counters. So we're going to start off with some push-ups. So make sure you do a good warm-up before you start. I'm going to go through all of these once. They're not compound exercises, they're not complex, but they're really good exercises that you can do in your home anytime without risk of injury or falling, because you've got this stable surface. Lots of times we do these balance exercises and I show you these things and I want you to hang on or be near something, and I want to give you a good overall view of what that all looks like. Okay, so we're going to start off with some push-ups. Push-ups can be really hard, as you know. You can do them on your knees, you can do them on an elevated surface, but starting at a countertop, I like doing them at a counter even then more than a wall, because a wall it's kind of a weird surface, and it can feel a little weird when you get your head close to it. Here you can stay in perfect form and do them at your pace. So if you feel like this is too easy, you can lower down to the floor. Everybody has a floor. So we'll start here. So what I want you to do is to line up with your hands, just around the sink. So about shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider. Shoulder width can be pretty narrow, so you might want them a little bit wider. So we're going to put your feet here, out behind you, and lower down. Now you can make this easier by moving your feet forward, or harder by moving your feet back. So you can adjust the intensity and find where it feels like a challenge, but it's not too much for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10. What you want to do is just sort of use your toes as a fulcrum. So you're going to kind of go back and forth on your toes. So you don't need to put your heels down and try to stretch. You're just kind of rotating on those toes. So let's do 10. 1, 2, keep those shoulders down away from your ears. 3, 4, you're keeping everything in line. Your head, your spine, everything is staying right in line. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good. And you can adjust that along the way too. If you feel like, oh, it's not too, you can just step forward, step back, make it work for you. Okay, next we're going to do some squats. The reason I like doing squats at a countertop, as I talk about this a lot too in my videos, is you can hang on to sit back so that you get that really good form. So you want to sit back like you're going to sit in a chair. So when you do a squat, you sit back like this, correct? You want to put your weight in your heels, keep your knees apart so they're straight in line with your hips. Sit back and keep everything in a good alignment. So spread your feet about shoulder width apart. Use that sink to sit back so that you can stay nice and tall. The other thing a lot of times people do when they're doing squats is they kind of go down like this, and they're really doing more hip work than quad work. So you really want to bend those knees. So sit back, hanging onto that sink, chest up nice and tall. We're going to go ahead and do 10. If that's too much, you can do a smaller one. You can keep it in the range of motion that is comfortable for you, but still working those quads. Think about squeezing your glutes as you come up. Your glutes and your quads are the main movers here. You're really working those large muscle groups in your legs. Hang on. You don't need to add any weights to this. This is all a body weight exercise program. Remember to squeeze those glutes as you're coming up. Okay, good. So you're just kind of sitting back each time, using this for balance, using it for support to keep you in that correct form. Okay, next we're going to do calf raises. So standing here for support, up and down on your toes. So many times we start to lose range of motion in our ankles and our feet and our toes. So we want to work on seeing over. So you're going to go up on your toes as high as you can, like you want to see what's on top of the refrigerator, see what's on top of the cupboards. Maybe you don't want to see that, but nice and tall. So instead of here, if this is all the range of motion that you have, work on getting a little bit higher and use this for balance. Many times people will try to do this and balance, but then they're not getting that full range of motion. So if you can't do it, the full range of motion without hanging on, use this sink. So you can stand and face it too, to really get that support. These are easy ones to do, you know, after you dry the dishes. You could do 10 calf raises, going up on those toes. Maybe while you're, you know, waiting for your shower to warm up in your bathroom or brushing your teeth or something like that. These are really easy to do anywhere, anytime, but they're a really important one for balance and that lower extremity strength and ankle and foot strength for that balance and fall prevention. Okay, hip abduction, abduction. So we're going to stand at the sink again, like this, and I want you to stand nice and tall, shoulders down, and we're going to bring that one leg out to the side like this. So keep your toe almost turned in just a little bit. So you want to feel it in your glutes. Your glute medius is really working hard here. Standing nice and tall. Don't let your toe creep out to the side like this, because then your hip flexors take over and your quads a little bit. So you really want to keep your toe straight forward and almost turned in just a little bit. I recommend that, and that makes it easier to keep it from wandering out to the side. So we'll do 10. And then we'll turn and do the other. But if you're just facing the sink, you can go ahead and just go onto the other side. Now, when you're standing on that one leg, you're also getting lots of hip stabilization with this as well. Nice and slowly, and a small range of motion. You don't need to be going way out here. It's just right in here. It's kind of a natural stopping motion here. You don't need to go way out to the side. Like if you find yourself hinging at the hip here like this, stand nice and tall and just bring it out to the side a couple feet and back. Okay, now we're going to do a side plank. So side planks can be really hard on the floor or on the mat. So we're going to try it on this elevated surface. A kitchen chair might also be a good option because you can get a little lower, but I'm going to show you how to do it here, and then you can level up or down. You can use your coffee table or a kitchen chair, you know, it's a little bit lower. What you want to do is stagger your feet front and back like this. So your top leg is in front, so your top foot is in front. And then you have your hand on the counter like this, and then we're going to lean over like this. So you're kind of leaning sideways over onto that counter. So, you know, you can make it easier by being closer to it. If you can, spread further back, and we're going to try to hold this for 30 seconds. Now, this is not nearly as difficult as it is on the floor, but you're still working those same muscles. We're working your obliques here. We're working that core. Again, if this is too much, move closer to that counter. And I'm not using the sink here because I'm not really in the picture very good here, but being able to wrap your hands around something to hang on to is a really big benefit here of using the sink. The kitchen can be a great workout room. Okay, so then we'll turn. Remember that top foot goes in front, and the same rules apply all the way down. If you're doing them on a coffee table or a chair or on the floor, your front foot is the top leg. So I'm going to pull out here a little ways, get a good angle. You want to keep your hips and shoulders stacked, meaning right on top of each other. You don't want to be over like this or way back here like this, right on top of each other. Perfect alignment to the side. And if you bring your arm up like this, it kind of helps with that. Because if you're here, it's really easy to tell that you're leaning forward. All right, we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Or longer. You can hold it for longer too. It's especially being able to do it on an elevated surface, you might be able to do it for a little longer. You should be feeling it in your obliques. If you're not, try a lower surface. Try your coffee table. Try a kitchen chair. When you do use something like a kitchen chair, shove it up against a wall so it doesn't move on you. Okay, the last one we're going to do is a balance exercise. We're going to work on standing on one foot. This is really important for gait and balance and falling, prevention of falls. Because when you walk, you spend time on one foot. And you need to be able to spend that time on one foot without shuffling or, all the various things that can come without that confidence in your balance. Okay, so stand on one foot. Use this. You can stand right next to it. Stand up here like this and let go, but keeping your hands close to that sink. Don't just bring your hands down here, because then if you do lose your balance and you go like that, you can hit your hand. So keep your hand right here. Stand nice and tall. Again, we're going to work on that stabilization of that hip that you're standing on. And try to hold it for 30 seconds or longer. Challenge yourself. See how long you can hold it. If you can hold it for 30 seconds, hold it for a little longer. The other thing you can do to make it more of a challenge is to look around the room. Look up, look down, look around the room. All of the change in gaze makes it much harder, because that's all part of our proprioception and how we balance. If you do have difficulty with this, find a spot on the wall and work on it. See how long you can hold one leg. If you're still holding it and you're looking all around the room, then we can talk about adding some more challenge. But send me a message if you need more of a challenge for this one. So if you can hold this for a couple minutes, no problem, looking around the room, send me a message. I'll send you something that can make it more of a challenge. But for today, remember, you're keeping this hip up nice and strong. You don't want it to sag into the hip like this. Keeping that up nice and strong. Holding that as long as you can. You could feel your feet and ankle muscles working, your lower leg muscles working. It's working all the way up the chain. So your core is working, everything. So keep those shoulders down, keep breathing, and hold that for as long as you can. If you're challenged and you keep having to put a foot down, that's okay. Just work on it for about 30 seconds before you switch to the other leg, so that you give it a good chance to start getting stronger. And then you can do these anytime. You can do them while you're, drying dishes, take a quick break and try to stand on one foot. Or, like I said, while you're waiting for your shower to warm up in the bathroom. Or don't do it in the shower, none of that. But lots of different times you can work on this, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. All right, everybody, go through these a couple times. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you. See you soon.